Hello and welcome back to our third edition of the Week That Was in Summer podcast here for The Nature Place. And before I let our two guests introduce themselves today, I just kind of want to set the scene where we're all sitting. Right now, on probably one of the most gorgeous Friday afternoons ever. It's like Maine out today here, friends. The high is 81 degrees. There's no humidity. It is the absolute most perfect day to run camp. So we're sitting here in the Corral area, right where we do our low ropes team building activity. Group Q just finished climbing the rock climbing tree in the elements. We have Group Z over near the White Top, doing a little group choice, hanging out. We have some water play happening on the Gray Top, and it's just a beautiful day, especially for this Friday of week 3. So, friends, tell me, how was your week 3?
It was really good. Hi, I'm Moss. This is my 3rd year as a counselor here at the Nature Place. And I had an overnight with my campers last night, and it was very lovely and very fantastic.
So, Moss, you're not only a counselor, but you are a head counselor for which group this summer?
I'm a head counselor for Group U this summer. We call ourselves the Unstoppable Umbras because I've got a lot of science kids in my group, and it means the darkest part of the shadow.
All right, cool. And for our other guest, how was your week?
Hey guys, this is Laii. I've been at the Nature Place for 9 years, and this year I am a CIT, which means I'm not quite a counselor yet, but I'm not completely a camper. I take my time for the first 5 weeks of camp, and I work with one of the younger groups. In particular, this summer, I'm with Group R. Shout out to all my rockin' red roosters. I love them to bits and pieces. I've known most of them for previous years, and this week has been pretty good. You're going to hear about this a little bit later, and for all our families, they've gotten the email, but for most of this week, we haven't had the pond, and it was a great opportunity to bond with our campers, as water play is a time where the campers really love to get together and attack their counselors, and me included. They just love to dunk all of us, and it's a really rocking time down there.
All right, so before we jump into the pond, pun totally intended, or maybe before we don't jump into the pond and talk about that, Laii, you mark a very important turning point on our podcast. You are officially the first technical camper to be featured on the podcast.
Ooh, how could it be?
Nature Place everywhere. All right, so let's talk pond. All right, so we had a nice day on Monday. It was a little warm, and then the rains came right at dismissal. There was a thunderstorm that kind of rolled in right before we went to the buses, and we held out for a couple minutes to go to the buses and waited for it to lighten up. We were able to get the buses out, and then I got very wet during car dismissal.
I can only imagine.
Yeah, everybody stayed dry, but I stayed out to make sure everybody was safe and sound. And then the rains started coming down more and more and more and more. And we had Group W that was supposed to have an on-site overnight. And they had a very, very cool on-site camp in instead of camp out. They literally put up tents inside the arts building, and they camped out, and they were all safe and sound while the rains were coming down. And the rains definitely came down. Like we had like a leak in the office. It was coming through the roof. And after the rains were done, we walked around, and everything was fine, right? The ferry streams were raging, but everything around camp was fine. The tents were fine. It was just a lot of rain. And then we went down to the pond, and then we saw the mud in the pond, and then we knew it was time to drain the pond. And that we did. And our lifeguards did a phenomenal job. And we are now filling the pond, both with the well and with some trucks. So we're going swimming tomorrow, on Monday. But so, Laii, you were talking about how much fun water games is. Why was this a better week for you?
Guys, might get canceled for this. Oh,
Nobody gets canceled at the Nature Place, Laii.
Okay, sorry. And also sorry to my lifeguards. PSA, love the lifeguards. They're like some of my favorite people ever. But I don't like swim that much, guys. Sorry. If I had to pick my favorite activity here at camp, it would probably be garden, or something like that. But swim, not really my forte. The kids love to get me. They love to splash me. They love to get me. And it's just like, wow. Wow. So water play was a very big plus for me this week. And I think some people hopefully will agree.
Moss, your take on water play instead of swim?
Well, I'm kind of the opposite. Pond is like my favorite activity here at camp. I was a competitive swimmer for many, many years. And so I love getting in the water, doing lessons, kind of showing the kids, like how much fun swimming could be. But my group got really creative, and after the first day of water play, we actually decided to make a few games out of it. So we had splash wars, which was really fun. We would all line up on each side with a bunch of buckets and kind of see who could get the most drenched. We have what are called the boom whackers, and so we would make beats in puddles and just kind of splash around. So I think it's a very fun experience to be both getting out of the heat and creative.
And we survived the warmth that was Wednesday. Mm-hmm. It seemed like we were able to keep everybody cool and collected, which was amazing. I got to say, Nature Place, when we get Delta Lemon, we make lemonade. Thursday came, right? And it was supposed to be a brutal baker. I don't know about y'all, but I didn't think it was all that hot on Thursday. It wasn't that humid for sure.
I don't think it was as hot as it could have been. I know my kids were definitely missing the pond by Thursday, just because, you can only have so many days being sprayed with the hose. But like I said, I think the weather cooling off was just right in time for us to get everything going.
I think nature owed us one for the rain. And it's like, okay, whoops, my bad. Here's a couple of beautiful days, kind of thing. So this week's theme, Over the Hill. So tell me what Over the Hill has meant to you. Maybe a little bit about the skit that was performed during Morning Share.
That we were both a part of.
No, you weren't.
Our twins.
I say our doppelgangers, actually.
Yeah,
yes.
We hear a lot about the skit through our doppelgangers, actually. But from the wise words of some of our doppelgangers, I think the real Over the Hill 40 was the friends we made along the way.
Absolutely.
And my favorite was back to the 2000s. We sung a lot of old Disney and 2000s classics. Camp Rock fans, Mean Girls fans, and my favorite, when Layla said, "You could change your hair,
You can change your clothes.
you can change your mind.
That's the way it goes.
You can say goodbye.
I don't know the rest of the lyrics.
And you can say hello, but you'll always find your way back home."
Amazing. So let's just back up for a quick second. The Share skit this week was about Over the Hill, and it was about a group of intrepid campers hiking over a quote-unquote hill, and but through the decades. So each day was one of the decades of the Nature Place's existence. Started with the 80s, 90s, the early aughts, the teens, and then it culminated somehow yet again with a bucket being spilled on the camp director of water from Soapy Steve.
I think that's just tradition now at this point this summer. I think that it's a fun and silly way to just, keep everybody involved.
Because I think everyone loves Soapy Steve. So, what's camp without some of our favorite iconic Share characters?
All right, very good. And then, we celebrated camp's birthday today. We, our actual 40th anniversary, we celebrated today. We sang the birthday song to camp this morning. The flower fairy came out and gave flowers. And then we got cupcakes.
Yes, we did.
At lunchtime.
They were so good. Oh my goodness.
I keep raving about the buttercream frosting.
Yes.
And I've been wearing a birthday crown, which confused a lot of people this morning until I said it's Camp's birthday.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people are now associating Camp's birthday with also being me, and it's my birthday now too. So I don't know, maybe we just started a new tradition of celebrating my birthday, whenever it is, during the summer.
As someone who has a fall birthday, I like that we get to just pick our birthday time now. I think that's great.
Absolutely.
Happy unbirthday to Jason.
Yay! Happy unbirthday!
Happy unbirthday.
All right, so not the normal week at the Nature Place. Mm-hmm. I think it was still a really great week, right?
100%.
Most definitely.
I think this shows how being flexible and kind of going with the flow, like in very much the theme of the Nature Place, shows that you can have fun in any circumstance, and you can continue to learn and continue to grow, and we're always going to have a fun adventure.
Yeah, absolutely. That might be a good theme week for future Nature Place. Go with the flow. You never know where the theme weeks come from. All right, so on Monday we start the second half of summer. 3 weeks of camp already completed, and then 3 weeks only to go. It doesn't feel like we're halfway through. It feels like we're just like, there's no way it's going by this fast.
I don't know about you guys, but I feel like we just did orientation week last week.
Oh my gosh.
It's so funny because I feel that I know my kids so well, but also I want to keep seeing them grow and keep seeing them expand their horizons, and it just feels like it's going way too fast.
It definitely does. It feels like yesterday I was walking in on the first day and I was like saying hi to everyone. I was like, it feels so great to be back. And now it's almost over.
Yeah, so next week, week 4, what are we looking forward to?
I think I'm mostly looking forward to next week. My group and I are going on our Cedar Pond camping trip, and my kids have been nonstop talking about it since our overnight last night, and they're so excited. They know we've been talking about the blueberries that grow there, and we've been talking about campfire songs that they want to sing during the campfire. They've been building teamwork, and they're so excited to buddy up and go canoeing and all that stuff. So we're buzzing with anticipation.
Yeah, I mean, Cedar Pond is a very special place, especially for Nature Place campers. Why? What are you looking forward to next week?
Oh, well, I know this is very contradictory to what I just said, but the pond being open only to see the smile and joy on my campers' faces, walking in through the doors, realizing that they are back at the pond, because I know that they love swim to bits and pieces for the sake of my children, so I think I will say the pond.
All right. Well, I can't wait to jump into the pond. Again, I just want to give a huge shout out to all the waterfront crew, to our very own Scott Dunn, our friends at the Threefold Foundation for getting the pond back in record time, and for all of the campers and staff and families that have just taken this in stride, right? Super fun week here at the Nature Place, and the nice thing is we still have plenty more camp to come. So excited for week 4. Thank you both for joining me on our In Summer podcast. And friends, we'll see you in week 4 of camp.
Bye, guys!